Welcome back, Shalligators. If you are in the Shallon, hello. It's Friday, and it's also the spring equinox. And usually on Friday, you guys know we do Fuckboy Friday. We're gonna save that tomorrow for Slutty Saturday. I'm gonna give you a whole romance rundown of the people I'm dating. One story is like currently developing, so I might have like a good bitchy ass update, or I might have an update where one of the guys totally pulls it out of the fire. TBD. But if you are watching this on YouTube, hello, because listen, right now we are opening up the Shallon to everybody for the next week. Sign up between today and Sunday and you get a free week in the Shallon. Just give it a shot, see what we're all about. If you're watching this in the Shallon, you know what we're all about. You know what we're all about. We're about rants, we're about story times, we're about crying, we're about connecting, we're about sisterhood, getting and giving advice, and we're all about like some feedback for me. You guys never not come from my neck in the best way, like in the way that you want your friends to like hold you accountable for things and make you better. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because yeah, it's the spring equinox. It's the first day of spring. And in the Shallon last weekend for Serene Sunday, our little podcast, to always get us like reset for the week ahead, get some positive vibes, shift our thinking into a mode that's going to benefit us. I talked a lot about the equinox is coming up, the eclipse, the retrograde things, and how we need to think of ourselves as like a tree just shaking off its dead leaves, Because a tree knows that before those beautiful spring blooms can arrive, it's got to go through like the ugly growing out period of like, you know, when your bangs are in that weird in-between stage because you cut them at 2 a.m. as you were eating a Crunchwrap Supreme. You know what you did. I've done it too. A tree has to shed those those winter leaves, in order to make room. And so there's going to be that fallow period of like, it's just ugly. That's right. This is stupid and this is ugly. But you have to make that space. Get rid of the old to allow room for the new. Speaking of rooms and ugly, yeah, these are my sheets. This is my cleaning lady's coming today. I hate making my own bed. I will like make the bed in the morning. I won't like put all the sheets on. I won't do that. I will make a day to day. But in the Shallon I am, I look much like this. A Valaris t-shirt from Akatar paired with Van Cleef. No bra. We're girls sitting on the bed talking. We're girls having a FaceTime sesh. Okay. So sorry. I'm still getting over sick. So the theme today, courses, horses, and divorces. What am I talking about? The equinox is a time of three things: renewal, balance, and rebirth. Renewal, balance, and rebirth. Courses, horses, and divorces. Has she finally done lost it? I don't know, maybe. I was thinking about like what I wanted to tell you guys for the equinox. And yeah, like I said, on Serene Sunday, we touched on a lot of it. But this concept of renewal, balance, and rebirth, I think we can break down into a guide to this new season, whether it's just the season outside or the season for ourselves, new season we're stepping into, in terms of courses, horses, and divorces. What do I mean by this? Okay, when I think of renewal, you reinvigorate something that is inherently already there, right? You call back into action some part of you, something about yourself, some behavior that has been perhaps made dormant by just life, you know? Like time gets away from us. We all wish we had just like a few hours a day to just sit and read. And it's cool to like be here with my mom for weeks and weeks because she's retired. And I'm like, what are you going to do today? And she's like, well, I need to start reading this book. I'm like, wow. And my first thought is like, oh, like, are you getting quizzed on it? Like, are you getting tested? She's like, no, I checked it out from the library. I want to read it. Huh. I've heard of that. I have heard of that. So when I say the first phase of this equinox is going to be courses, I want you to do something that is not just like intellectually stimulating, but like soul stimulating. I've talked about it a million times in Shallon, positive intelligence. One of our girls, Anna, runs little groups of it. It's like every few months she'll start a new group, and it's sort of like real-time meditation and kind of just learning to stop yourself when you're in the middle of a spiral, even spirals that are so automatic, you don't even clock them as that. You literally clock them as, well, that's just part of my personality. But it's actually like something's hijacking you. And it isn't part of your personality. It's like the villains. It's just the little negative tape loops and the bad habits. And it teaches you how to like spot it and stop it and just live more balanced. It's incredible. And I'm really big on courses. I recently just signed up for another course that this like one psychologist is doing on like intentional love and choosing the right people and feeling worthy of love. And I'll talk about this more in the Shallon because like there's something that came up that this guy, he interviewed a bunch of dudes that he knew about like what made them choose their partner, and their answer, like a very large commonality with their answers, was very interesting. I actually talked about it in the Positive Intelligence group we just had today, but I'm going to talk about it in the Shallon probably, I don't know, maybe Evil Monday. I'm going to talk about it for Evil Monday. Okay. So in the Shallon we have Wisdom Wednesday, Fuckboy Friday, Slutty Saturday, Serene Sunday, and Evil Monday. So we kind of cover all that we're thinking about. We cover every topic that like applies to women. So courses. I want you to focus on like renewing the nerd within. The soul nerd, not just the intellectual nerd, although she's a bad bitch, but like, let's do something for our soul. Maybe it's an online therapy course. Maybe it's an online writing club that you're going to be part of. Maybe it's an online weight accountability workout group. I want you to join a group or something that is just expanding that part of you. Does this make sense? And even if it's not necessarily like a social group, I think that that's like ultimate, because that's going to give you a great community. I mean, listen, if you're in the Shallon, we have this here. And so like, yes, amazing. And if you're not in the Shallon and you want to do something like that, we count. Like, so, okay, so we count. So you check that off the box. But I want you to do something that's about personal growth. And this doesn't have to be something that is going to directly tie into your work or absolutely help you find a husband or make sure you come out able to squat, I don't know, whatever's considered a lot of weight to squat. That's not what I do. I want you to do something purely for like your soul's benefit. This is the time. This is the time. And it's been the winter, not just outside, but like the winter of our discontent, but like kinda. Winter is a very like retracted thing. It's a very still thing. And I believe in sort of basing my biorhythms and my personal growth around the seasons. You know, the summer, I believe the summer is the time to have fun. I think, you know, they always say summer bodies are made in the winter. I do that. Like my summer mindset, my summer self is always made in the winter, whether it's my body, whether it's my habits that I've like gotten in the rhythm of, or really it's just my mindset, like things that I've done in the winter and the spring so that when summer hits, I'm like, I'm not learning a fucking thing. I'm going out, I'm having fun. This is my season of fun. I've planted things and now I'm going to harvest them and I'm going to have a great, amazing time. Fall, there's another mindset. Winter, there's a different mindset. And so spring's about growth and it's about blooming. So the first thing, yes, in terms of courses, horses, and divorces, courses. You're going to do something for that soul. Number 2, horses. Can I just say real quick that there actually used to be a bar in Brooklyn called Horses and Divorces, and it was Dolly Parton themed. Do you want some fucking tea? Dolly Parton had it shut down. Little Miss Americana, she had it shut down. And it was like, it was just like, had a lot of Dolly Parton pictures on the wall. It was a dive. It was an absolute dive. It wasn't like, oh, like tour buses are coming through here, have a full Dolly Parton experience. We have an impersonator. This is like Dollywood, someone singing her songs. It was like a dive bar in like Rape City, Flatbush with just like a ton of pictures of Dolly Parton and like Burt Reynolds on the wall. It's and she shut it down. Weird. Anyway, I loved the name, Horses and Divorces. And it came back to me and it helped kind of inspire this. Horses. What does this have to do with? Balance. Balance. As many of you know, I bought a horse last year. Huge, stupid financial mistake. Never rode him once. Never rode him once because my friend, who is like a proper horse girl, like she trains cutting horses. Cutting horses what that term means. People are like, cutting horses. It means that they are basically cattle horses. They're like cowboy horses, and they can cut cattle off from like the herd if they need to like brand the cattle or tag it or whatever. So they're like a working horse. It's a big skill. If you've ever ridden a cutting horse and tried to do cattle sorting, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's like an ATV that's got a mind of its own and it's fighting you back. Anyway, so I bought this horse. Molly got on him once. First time she got on him, we bucked her off and broke her shoulder. So I was like, you know what? I'll be over here. It was a very expensive lesson to learn. But he's a good boy now. I sold him fully to her. But my point is, I bought that horse, I bought Chicken, to give me balance. I thought this is going to be a Montana project for me. This is going to get me to the barn every Sunday. I'm going to be riding 2 or 3 times a week. Like, this little guy is going to anchor me to Montana. It did not work, like, at all. And Molly and I we're still like besties. And she's like, I really thought that this was going to keep you in Montana, but every time I turn around, you're on a plane. I'm like, I know. I thought he was going to also. And I realized how out of balance my life was. That I love animals, I love horses, I love riding, and I love Montana. And even that like wasn't enough. And I think I just was not in the mind frame of balance. And this was a year ago. It was fairly recent. It just goes to show how much growth can happen if you put your mind to it. Now, this would actually be a great time for me to buy him and like go back, have that lifestyle that is much more balanced, because that is now something I'm seeking. So what I want you to do, get your own horse. Don't make it an actual horse. Jesus Christ, they're a pain in the ass. They're so expensive. He's such a good boy. He's like totally factory reset, doesn't buck people off. He's like a great little trail horse now. She's even jumping him. I know, my little baby. He's where he needs to be. I'm glad I could financially support this endeavor. I want you to find something that is going to maybe kind of sort of force you into some balance. Because listen, high achieving women like us, first of all, that doesn't come naturally to us. It's like, which is the chicken or the egg? Are we drawn to being high achieving and like super dialed into career or super dialed into our kids or something like that because of our nature? Or were we kind of like bred to do this? Do you know what I mean? I always talk about the covenant of the nerd. Like, I'm a working breed, and working breeds aren't balanced. Like, you were like balanced in high school just like in service of getting into college. You had to play lacrosse or be French club president, or once that happened, it's like, I got to go back to work. And it's very easy to get out of balance. And so I want us to try to make this a focus for the spring. I want us to set us up for success going into the fun seasons. Like the fun seasons, right? I want us to have routines in place that allow for rest. Can you imagine? One of the guys I'm dating, incredibly successful person. I mean, ex-special forces, doctor, tech mogul. Like, how many hours are in your day? Because, I mean, he gets up at 4:30 in the morning, so more. But he takes a 22-minute nap every day. I was like, it's very specific. He's like, it's a REM cycle. He's like that. And I'm like, do you ever like freak out and you're in work mode and you're like, I can't take a nap? He's like, no, I take one every day. It's part of my routine. And it is forced balance. Like, whether I feel like I absolutely need a nap, whether I have tons and tons of work to do, I take a nap. That is baked into my routine as walking the dog, as doing this Zoom, as going to CrossFit, whatever it is. And I thought, that is exactly how successful people approach rest and hobbies, balance. Like, this is simply baked in. Baked in. And I just kind of talked about this on YouTube with the Kourtney Kardashian video of like, that was an immutable part of her routine, working out. And now to hear her be like so dismissive of it, I'm not that girl anymore. Like, you're not a balanced girl anymore? That seems really sad to me, because I know as women how hard we're seeking it, like how difficult that is to achieve. And it's so sad to see someone who had achieved it just like abandon it. And I think that like hits on a deep level, because I don't know, like I my life feels much more balanced right now. And I really, really want to protect that. I've worked really hard to get to this place where it's like, no, I play tennis at this time. No, I have a curfew of 9:30 p.m. This is another thing I was talking about in the Shallon Entourage last Friday. With dating, I tell guys, like, I have a 9:30 curfew. You know what they've all said? That's wifey behavior. That's wifey behavior. They love it. They love it because, like, it's the mark of a successful person. You bake in balance. So, we got courses. Now we're on to horses. I want you to put something in your life that becomes as immutable as X. Whatever the thing that is pulling your life out of balance, work, kids, work, travel, whatever that is. You know, it's different for all of us. I want you to add something in that is carved into stone right next to the big thing. The big thing. Shallon, I can't do it. I just can't do it. You don't have 22 minutes a day? If you don't have 22 minutes a day, you are a piss poor scheduler. I say this with love because I say it to myself. I would say the same thing. 6 months ago, Shallon, I don't have time. Okay? Come on. Then I'm not structuring my time well. And guess what? I wasn't. And when I started block scheduling, when I started, like, even little things, laying my clothes out the next day, like dumb stuff. That's another thing this successful man does. He lays his clothes out. Like, and he dresses so well. He has like outfits, not in like a weird way, but like very casual, but he's just incredibly put together. And he's like, yeah, I set my clothes out the night before. I did that in high school. And I don't know how good I looked, but I felt good. Like my life was more in balance, right? So I want us to have a horse, a 22-minute horse. Can we call it that? A 22-minute horse. Something in your life that forces you to be balanced. And I bring up dating because that is something I'm purposely importing into my life to force me to balance. And a different guy that I'm dating, but may the best man win. We'll see. We'll see what's up. He's like, I think you're going to have an issue balancing you and I and your work. And I said, I agree with you. And just to be honest, like that's part of the reason I am dating is because I need to force myself to balance things out, not to like make you a guinea pig on this, but like I'm ready to do that. I'm in the mindset where like, this is what I want to do. It's going to be kind of clumsy at first how I do it, but this is a central motivation to seek that balance in my life. You know, horse couldn't do it. Could a sexy man do it? I don't know. We shall see. We shall see how this plays out. So I want you to think about what that could be. And you know what? If it's laying down for 22 minutes, doesn't have to, you know, and putting on a meditation recording, amazing. If it's going for a walk around the block, like that is so nice. Like going for walks. Like I remember my friend Anna, our PQ girly, she's like very big on hot girl walks. And she's like, when I first started to do it, I fucking hated it. I hated it. And now it's the best time of my day. Same, like when I'm back in Montana, I take Cowboy out to the woods. And at first I was like, I hate this. Now, if I don't get out to the woods every day, I'm as angry as the dog is. I need it. So if you can just start to build that in, put your horse somewhere in your day and schedule it in. Maybe it's easier in the morning. Maybe it's easier in the evening while the kids are doing their homework before everyone needs dinner. But put it somewhere. Put it somewhere and just see. Balance, I think, is a domino effect. Once you realize, I can fit that in. First of all, you see all the people who don't want you to be balanced. You have to look that in the face, which is, I think, a reason a lot of us avoid doing it. Because, yeah, maybe it's our mother-in-law who's like, well, there you go again. Off to your gym. Okay, just know your kids are fine. Your kids are fine for 45 minutes. Everyone is going to fucking survive. But you see the people who hate your boundaries because they benefited from you having none at all. And that can be some very ugly writing on the wall, but it's writing we do need to read in order to grow and to do the last step, divorces. Horses, divorces. Now is the time to shake those leaves off, Whomping Willow style. Why take old anything into a new season? An old habit? Like when I talk about divorcing something, that's not just like a toxic friend, a fuckboy, an irritating cousin. I'm not talking about us. Like I'm talking about the man in the mirror. What are we doing that we need to divorce out of our life? We're all our own worst enemies. Stupid, but it's true. And once we start looking at our own bullshit and peeling back the layers, oh, we get real ruthless real fast with everyone else around us. Like, no, I hold myself to this standard, but I hold you to a different one? I don't think so. We become allergic to people who are not doing courses, horses, divorces. We become absolutely repelled by people who are not in a place of self-awareness and growth. I was also talking about this in Positive Intelligence today, because what we're dealing with is someone who's just like, cosplaying. The way like a 4-year-old would be like, I'm a dinosaur, wow. You're like, cute. How long do you want to stay in that fantasy land with that 4-year-old? Like 30 seconds? And you're like, all right, Paxton. You don't want to like live there. Like that's cute, but I don't want to spend a lengthy amount of time in make-believe land. I want to spend it in reality. Because in reality, I'm brave, I'm pulling back the layers, I'm growing as a person, I'm balanced, I've got boundaries, I know how to enforce them. Grow, 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 grow. Like a tree in spring, new growth, blooms, blossoming, opening up, most beautiful version of yourself. And so to look at these like cosplayers who act like they don't understand why they keep getting the same outcome in their life, who complain about something they have zero intention of changing, it's like looking at a dead tree. Who wants to look at like dead tree instead of beautiful blossoms? Nobody. So you can't take these people, these habits, these behaviors into the new season as you wouldn't take your winter coat into a new season. We know how to shed like in a very literal way. We're going to clean out our closets. We're going to put that box of sweaters under the bed. We know how to do that. We prepare ourselves for this growth, get the spray tan, freshen up our hair color, whatever. But then emotionally, it's the same box of shit that we carry season to season. Why? Why? Because then you know what happens? I remember this in New York. The winter was awful. I hated the winter. And for me to love a Montana winter is like crazy. I know I'm not in Montana, but when I'm there and I'm deciding to deal with it, I enjoy it. And the second I decide to stop, I leave. But in New York, like I hated it. It's just like gross winter. You know, it's city winter. And everything's gray and all the cars are filthy. All the people are filthy. Everyone's fucking miserable. Everyone's miserable because why on earth wouldn't you be? And there's this vibe of like, if we can just get to the spring, if we can just get to the spring, like we're almost there, we're almost there. And inevitably, spring would come and I would have this twofold feeling of, oh my God, we did it. We all did it. And then almost immediately, there would come another feeling, which was, but what's going to be different though? Okay, all winter we drank inside the restaurant and we had to hang our coat by the door. So now we don't have to hang our coat and it's warm enough to walk to the subway and having to like misery order an Uber because it's so cold. And we just maybe drink on the patio. Like the activities never changed. They never really changed. It was restaurants, drinking, events, but life was the same. Because I wasn't growing, right? And so if the seasons are going to change, why not change along with it? The universe itself, the planets, the sun, the eclipse, the moon, and the stars want this for you. The trees want this for you. The flowers want this for you. Do you want it for yourself? And if the answer is yes, all right, you've got your marching orders. Courses, horses, divorces. And you, again, will start to look around at the people who don't want this for themselves and be like, ugh, you know, you're not in a winter. I think you're just dead. Like certain trees or plants. Like, oh no, they're not wintering. That tree's actually dead. It's never coming back. It's never going to exhibit new blooms and new growth. There's people like that. There are dead plants that we keep watering. And we got to pull back and acknowledge that. This relationship, it's a dead plant. This friendship, it's a dead plant. Maybe at one time it was a beautiful blooming thing of beauty. That is not the case now. And we need to be brave enough to look that in the face. And we are. Listen, I mean, a lot of other people aren't. We talk about this a lot in the Shallon Traj. Well, I'm pretty bitchy about it. Most people, I would say, need to be oppressed. They don't want to be happy. They don't want to grow. And that's fine. That makes a very distinct line in the sand between people like them and people like us. We are the leaders. Okay? If an interaction is going to be like one person gets used, guess it's not fucking going to be us. Okay? It's not going to be us. That's going to flow one way. And whether that's a work situation or whatever, like we are not going to be oppressed. We're not going to be gaslit. We're not going to be taken advantage of, have our boundaries eroded. There's a lot of people out there who will. Great. It isn't going to be us. And we get to that place of being rock solid and like, no. No. When we're able to say, I have courses, I have horses, and I don't have divorces. I am not afraid of any one of these categories. Are they always fun? No. Growth isn't, so why it's called growing pains. But I know why I'm doing it. I know why I'm forcing myself to get up and go to Pilates. I know why it's very important. I keep that commitment to the Zoom group talking about mindset and manifestation. I know that. And I know why I had to cut that friend off. I know why I had to have that icky conversation with someone I'm dating to get really clear on like who he was and what the vibe is. Because I am shedding. Renewal, balance, rebirth. Rebirth. So, tell me what you guys think about this. If you're in the Shallon Traj, go to the post reactions chat. We've got 30 group chats. They're all lit. They're amazing. Everything from manifestation to outfits to evil and mayhem. Yeah, that's a good one. And everything in between, anything you guys can think of. And if you are on YouTube, like I said, come to the Shallon Traj, check it out. It's a lot more videos like this, a lot of rants. You're going to get some good slutty content this weekend. Plus, you get access to all my courses. Speaking of courses, everything I've ever done in the Shallon Traj, you have access to all my previous video, Evil Weeks, my hookup tutorials, my dating app course, which I really don't think gets enough love and respect. It's good. These guys that I'm dating, I met them on Bumble. Like, if you're not about going out and sitting at the bars and hoping this dude with drinking a Bud Light, don't date a guy who drinks Bud Light, is going to be like your true love, you need to get on dating apps, okay? I will help you take the ick out of it and make it work for you because I am great at that. I'm great at them. I meet amazing people and, you know, that's the best way to do it. Save your time. Do it in your pajamas, which I'm wearing. All right, girls, I love you and I'll see you later. I'll see you later, alligators.